Hello viewers and welcome to part 2 preview, part 2 on WRC 9, and we're just going to take a look at the menu here and various elements that have changed. Now on part 1 I focused very much on the physics and the driving action aspects. For me, very important, the physics changes, something you can't see, but they've made radical overhaul in terms of the physics. Lots of improvements there. Still a lot to test, obviously. You know, I mean, you have to test different surfaces and textures and weather conditions. That will take some time, but first impressions very good. I'll be testing more of the cars and looking at the various different classes and performances in the next sort of few weeks as I go through it all. Not long now, of course, until launch on September the 3rd. And if you have any questions, as ever, do put them in the comments and I'll come back to them on a Your Comments video, or videos as it were. We just looked there at one of the new features, creating your own club, and I was just going through there. You can create a club or join 3 others. Still at an early stage at the moment. You have challenges which you can see here, get stuck into. So besides the standard rallying, you've got various challenges as well. Now these challenges are good for technical driving, learning how to drive on various different surfaces. Nice little short track action. I enjoy these quite a bit. Sometimes you just want to jump on, pick a nice little track and do some laps. It's one of those things where it's fun to do the driving for me rather than focus on leaderboards. It's nice for me, there's no leaderboards, I don't have to worry, I can just enjoy the driving. I think sometimes these days we get too caught up on leaderboards, and I just want people on WRC 9 to just focus on the fluidity of the driving and how much they're enjoying that. So just running a quick lap there, familiarising myself with the way the physics work on the various different surfaces and the feeling there as well. Another challenge here, now this one I have cut out a whole selection of restarts, was quite challenging. Damaged car, bad weather conditions, very tricky to drive, very low visibility, low grip, everything here was difficult. So slow progress really in terms of getting through the stage, and basically the idea on this aspect was to drive as far as you can see on the gold, silver and bronze just up there as well. These challenges all add a lot in terms of, as I say, technical driving, developing your skills, and just enjoyable little mini games to add in there as well. So nice addition. I like all of this stuff. Sometimes I spend as much time in the mini games as I do in the main game as well, and I'll look at another test track or two later in the video. Talking of training tracks, there are lots in there. If you hadn't seen them last year, there are lots of tracks and bits and pieces to discover, and these were all great additions. I like that in WRC 8, but in a way I felt like going back to them again because the physics are making such a huge difference to the driving that there's still a lot to explore for me now. I can go back to these courses, I can attack them more. As I say, completely different approach. Here, for example, again, we're on tarmac, a little bit of handbrake, turning in early to the corners, you'll see. So you're almost attacking before you get to the apex, and then driving into the corner, letting the weight of the car carry you through. So you're adapting your driving now to suit the new physics. It's tricky, these are narrow technical circuits. They've got a nice real-world feel to them as well. Graphically, the details have been increased since last year on various elements, and I just enjoyed running courses like this. And you can do it lap after lap. Very physical to drive that course. A lot of hard work going on behind the wheel and on the handbrake, but I enjoyed that. That was nice. So I like all the test tracks I did last year, do this year, and of course they again prepare you for various tricky super special stages, stuff like that. Just looking at the test area or the play area, we're going to have an extended run on this towards the end of the video, which it's going to be a bit of a no comment run, just going for a drive, exploring it for the first time. So I've left it quite raw at the end of the video for you guys just to watch it and enjoy it yourselves. Going into the test area, no major changes really. It's the main thing is the graphics and just the visual fidelity's improved quite a bit. Everything's a bit more polished. There's better texture details, better foliage, lighting seems to be improved. just various little things that just refine it and polish it a bit more. And I guess in a way this bodes well for the future of Kiloton's open world games as well, potential open world games. So, you know, when we're considering the fact that Test Drive is coming at some point, you're looking at something that would be an early version, then certainly at least it gives you an idea of what open world gaming could be like. And when you think it's only going to get better when we have the new consoles, so everything you see here will improve. I was considering doing some drifting and stuff like that, and then thought better of it. I thought, you know, I'm just going to go for a drive basically, and went off and had a drive into the countryside again. This was, I think, my second time on it. The first time, actually just for the first time, is towards the end of this video, but I want to show a little bit of Cockpit Cam. I don't tend to use the Cockpit Cam in many games unless they allow me to remove the steering wheel or zoom in a bit. As it happens, WRC 9 has a forward Cockpit Cam, so with no steering wheel in the way, that works perfectly for me. But you can see here a tour of the open world landscape and the countryside, looking nice, albeit through a very small windscreen slot. That's why I always complain about Cockpit Cam views. For me, they're just not very authentic. You just don't see the car in that way. You have nickname options randomly. I think I was just looking here at the various nicknames. Pick your country and various nicknames that are there. They could do, I felt, with a lot more than this. I think they've got about half the amount they needed. They could have done a few more. I think I'd go with tourist. I think I go wherever that is in the end. There we are. I'm a tourist, just having a little tour of the game. Bit of a Sunday drive and exploring. So you can see all the online elements, loads in the menus to explore. And of course you can look at your car model and zoom in and change the weather on it and stuff like that. So I'll be using that feature in my videos, no doubt, just to give you some polish in the videos, show a few cars now and again, which is nice. Would be nice actually to be able to select different backgrounds and things like that as well. Now where are we off to? Off to New Zealand for one of the weekly challenges. This will be wet conditions in a Volkswagen Polo from I don't know when. I didn't get the year, so maybe it's 2017, 2016. I didn't get the year, so we're going to carry on, and I'll probably find out afterwards, and I can always put it in the description. But first thing I noticed about this car, and I think I've left my initial track off, is it's wet weather conditions at New Zealand. You can see the wind blowing all the trees. Conditions are really tricky, and I turn into the corner and it's not happening. And I'm thinking, what's happening there? Of course, this car didn't have any ABS, so I've hit the brakes and it's completely locked the front, and it sent me straight off. So now I know to change the braking type. One, you're braking a bit earlier, but two, you're braking sort of very light, sort of trail braking it a little bit into the corner, and it's tricky to drive. It took me a few corners to get my head around it in these conditions as well, because as soon as the brakes lock, the car literally just understeers straight off. But as the stage got on, I started to understand it more. See, I'm not sliding the car at all. I haven't worked it out yet, and I'm thinking, right, okay, let's understand how early you have to be and how you have to respond. I've never done this stage before, obviously, so I've no idea where I'm going. I don't know what aspects are coming in terms of various challenges, so I'm just going to take it easy. Really nice graphics showing the wet mud effect, and of course as the stage goes on, gradually the weather changes and it starts to dry out, and I believe this particular stage ends in the dry. I don't know if I've got the whole stage on here, probably don't, but we'll look at this sort of content in greater detail in another video, in terms of transitional weather and stages and running epic stages. So all of that is still to come, and working my way up the mountainside here in tricky conditions. You see it's drying up a little bit now. Sun is beginning to break through the clouds more. Getting there gradually, getting a bit more fluid with the car. You can see as well how long the stage is. I mean, we've still got a long way to go on this particular stage. And I don't have the full stage on here, but I was doing really well and crashed right before the finish. Typical. But I remember working my way around, so just keeping it on the track there. It's funny, you know, that rally's a strange thing. You know, 1 minute you feel like you're driving too tentatively and you want to push harder, then you push a bit harder and you simply fly straight off the course. So experience is everything in rally. Understanding how to get more out of your car, or understanding your own limits. You know, you're always driving to your own limits, and it's only with experience do you get more control. You understand how and where and when you can push more. But the changing surface conditions and track conditions really do affect everything. They change everything on a course. You know, where you could take a course at a certain speed and certain gear and you thought you had it nailed, then all of a sudden you don't anymore, and it's a complete change. So enjoyed that. That was good fun. Just thought I'd showcase a bit more driving on one of the test courses. I mentioned earlier that it was a lot of work at the wheel, so I thought, well, let's just show a little bit of the wheel work going on. Run this. I do enjoy them. Again, this is on dirt this time, so again just seeing how this particular car works in terms of fluidity on the course. Started and away we go. So going to his first corner, sliding the car in. It's okay. Could have done with more speed there, but that's alright. Pick up a little bit of handbrake there, just slide the car in. I was too slow then, wasn't I? So just got to react quicker there. There's a lot more speed to find. Slow through this section. Lock on the car, that wasn't ideal. So we're going to run another lap in just a moment. We need to learn from our mistakes. Sliding the car much easier through there now. So I'm thinking, right, okay, I've got that. Touch on the wall, a bit of a messy end to the lap. So, and then we've got bumps. Seems you're all over the place. So that's no good. Let's try again. I didn't restart. We just get on with it. So loads more time to find, but I suppose it's good for you guys to see me making mistakes and learning, and you know, from that first lap where I could carry speed. I mean, you do have to be tight through here. That worked okay that time. Pushing a bit more to slide the car. Much more controlled this time. It's good. Still touching that wall a little bit there. It's very tricky. And then how to get over these bumps. Keeping it a bit more to the right this time and a bit more controlled on the throttle. So a little bit less throttle. But it worked for me nicely. So and then I did continue driving, but then I thought, no, let's just do something else. We've done that, viewers. But otherwise I'll just sit on the course all day and just keep driving, and then I think, no, I've got more to do. So back to the menus, and time for a look at the test area, which we'll have a look at in just a moment, as I'm just checking out one of the weekly challenges there as well. Obviously there's only about 5 people testing them right now, and that's the guys that are working on the game, putting the finishing touches to it, checking everything is working before everybody gets on it in the next few weeks, including all the media and YouTubers and testers. So obviously setting up my dynamic weather, and again I've added my wheel in the corner just because I always feel that with rally it's good to add the bit of wheel input, so when the handbrake's being used and various wheel input, and just again going for a nice Sunday drive. I do like a Sunday drive. I mentioned in the preview part 1 I added a bit of this. This video is me just first time on this. I couldn't remember any of it really from last year, so it was just about going in completely fresh. I get thoroughly lost on this drive, and just exploring the map. And as you can see, it's looking better, it's looking lush, nice lighting, nice foliage, everything's handling really well, and I'm just enjoying the driving. So I'm going to leave you with a bit of this driving. And now I'm going to come back in part 3 when I look a bit more at the career mode, and then eventually we're going to have a look at some of the other racing, and we'll have some other sort of standalone rallies, a look at the epic stages still to come as well, a look at the historic cars, and on my Your Comments videos I'm going to be answering your comments and concerns on the game. Anything you've got there, I'll go through that as well. So that's it from me for now. I'll leave you to this video action, and there'll be more from me very soon. Hello viewers, well thanks for watching the video today. Do like and subscribe, it supports what we do. Do become a YouTube member. YouTube Patreon supports all of our content you see on the channel, and of course lots of gaming from retro to modern games. I love it all in terms of racing action. So click on one of the two videos just there to find out more.